Will Dr. Fauci, now that he's retired, finally get his comeuppance? We hope so. Hey everybody, this is Tom. It's Tom's Talk Show, and I browse the news every now and again and try and find stories that I like and that I'm interested in and that make some sense and some meaning to me, and make a video about them. So I was looking around and found that Rand Paul, who's definitely was the thorn in Dr. Fauci's side the entire time during the whole COVID thing. And he's finally saying Senator Rand Paul has announced criminal referral of Dr. Anthony Fauci to the Department of Justice after lying during congressional testimony. Well, it was pretty obvious, about most things that he was said. He was trying to hide something. He was being subversive. He was trying to dismiss anything that Rand Paul was saying, even though Rand Paul would come with here's this evidence, here's this document, here's what you said. So this newly surfaced email in February 2020 about COVID task force call between him and his associates. Yes, we know that Fauci, the day this all started rolling, he got all of his people together and said, we need to do, certain things. We need to, one, play down it's from the lab. We need to play down that it's gain of function. We need to, push that we're going to be able to, have the vaccines, because that's obviously going to make, he's probably heavily invested in all the pharmaceutical companies. And that's going to make him obviously a lot of money despite the loss of life. And that's the real, for me, that's the real tragedy. If you have truth, if you have facts, things that even if you're going to, potentially put you in a bad light. I mean, come clean. Say, yeah, we were giving money to this lab. Yeah, we were trying to do, there was a little gain of function stuff going on. We were trying to get them to stop doing that, but it's China. What are we going to do? They're going to kind of do that. So we're trying to pull back the money and not do that. I mean, do something, make up some kind of, truth and have some integrity, right? Like Fauci had zero integrity, about 5 minutes into this whole thing. And there, so will we see him get, any kind of jail time or anything else? I kind of doubt it. People on that side of the aisle, that Fauci's obviously on, tend to be immune, to being prosecuted and doing things fully, like Hillary, Hunter Biden, even our president, Joe Biden, probably the biggest gangsta of them all. They're probably not going to have anything happen to him. So, I mean, it's, I guess it's the unbalanced part of our system that definitely needs to be fixed. But so we can go to the CDC, and what my real big thing is the adverse reactions to this vaccination. That's what they should go after Dr. Fauci for. Oh, everybody should be able to get their shot. Everybody should all be fine. Benefits outweigh the risks. Well, if you look at VAERS, which is the Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting, right? Something happens, they get reported to this system. They recorded over 25,000 deaths caused by the vaccine. Almost a threefold increase compared to non-COVID vaccines killed 9,000 people. So definitely these vaccines are not, you have a definitely higher chance of dying because of it. And that's going to be also based on your age. The younger people were being killed by the vaccines more than the older people. Also the vaccines caused 48,000 permanent disabilities. So that, don't tell me that there's no problem or it's complete, that's information that we didn't have because they weren't doing the correct studies. I mean, there's this little graph here, right? This is the deaths reported by, into this adverse reaction system. This is all for all vaccines. Not too bad in the 90s, 2000s, going up a little bit in the 2012s. Then, boom, COVID hits and they start pumping these vaccines into people, and it goes up like 8,000-fold. That, to me, is a problem, right? That, to me, is the crime of Anthony Fauci. That to me is what he should be taken to task on. That he pushed these vaccines. He probably knew that they weren't tested, and he should have been able to come clean with, here's the information that we have. We need to have all this information in the people's hands as we get it. Like, okay, there's, out of every, 100 people that we give this vaccine to, 2 are going to die, 6 are going to be disabled permanently, some are, 30 or whatever are going to get really sick, right? I mean, I've had people in my family that have had serious problems, and it's taken like a year before they're getting actually back to normal health. I've had one family member die from the vaccine. And that's just me, one person. And I've got, not that many, I don't have a huge family, right? This is not that many people to be having all these adverse reactions. I have friends who've gotten shots and have just like basically destroyed their energy for, 6, 8, 10 months, just not able to do anything because of it. So that to me is the real crime that we should be going after Fauci for. Because he was the one that pushed this on the American public, along with all of the pharmaceutical companies. So yeah, it's just that's the real crime. I mean, even now, it's a joke with comedians. Dana Carvey, David Spade. I mean, I think we've seen this.
I miss COVID.
I know. Dude, you know what I knew? There was trouble when anyone that came to our country didn't have to get a vaccine. And I go, if you're telling me I can't go to work, but everyone coming in doesn't have to get one, I go,
well, once we found out when Fauci said, okay, I'm sorry. If you've had 2 boosters and 2 vaccines, you can get and give COVID to another guy who's had 5 vaccines and 4 boosters. Mm-hmm. What's the difference between a vaccine and a booster? I don't know. It's just more vaccine, but booster sounds better. Anyway, a guy with 25 vaccines would get and give COVID to another guy with 25 vaccines. That's why I'm introducing the daily COVID shot. Every day you get a shot. By the time you get to your car, you got no immunity. But it's a beautiful 39 seconds.
Yeah, so it's being made fun of now in regular popular culture. The inability for these vaccines to even protect you, like may even harm you. We don't even know all of the long-lasting side effects with all of the reports of people, young people, healthy young people, suddenly, dying. There's a whole thread on Twitter, like died suddenly, right? This is a big crime against against the world, really, and it needs to be addressed. And I think Fauci is at the head of that. So I think that's another thing that needs to be addressed. I don't know if Rand Paul can do that. And get him on that and find him saying things, and then taking this evidence and holding him accountable. It's heaven forbid. Of course, we have another election coming soon, and just plan already now. Just plan for some other type of at least United States level coast-to-coast event that's going to want everybody in their houses, locked up, have some kind of drug or medication that they have to take, whatever, in order to avoid something. I mean, personally, I didn't get any of the vaccines at all. We were able to stay clear and clean of it, and we got COVID. We were sick for a few days, just went and walked the dog, every day just to be up and around and moving, and 3 or 4 days, was feeling better and done. I mean, because we're healthy, right? So never in history have we protected the healthy, confined the healthy to protect the vulnerable. We've always protected the vulnerable, right? And let the healthy go do what they're going to do. So this was when they flipped the script. They were just trying to, see what the world would take and how much power they could take from us. And trust me, the next election, that is coming again. And but if we take things like get Dr. Fauci behind bars and penalized and all that, maybe they'll start to think twice. We've had success with Target as a country. We've had success with Bud Light, as and things like that. We can push back. We can tell the leaders and companies in this country that no, we're not going to follow you. We're not going to go along with this. I don't know no one that I talk to at all anymore will ever get any kind of. They've lost all credibility. Nobody will get any other vaccine as far as I can see. Nobody that I know will do that. I mean, the pharmaceutical companies have just completely lost all credibility and all trust with at least, I'd say, like 3/4 of the country. There are always people who are just going to be like, whatever, I'll just keep pumping it in me. I don't care. The problem is there's going to be, what they call, the one shot that is too much for you. And that's going to be problematic. So, yeah. But anyway, I think he's going to get what he deserves. Hopefully that will happen. I don't know of anybody around here that really actually, well, where I am in Florida now, of course, no one. Maybe California. If I were in California, everybody would just love him, I think. No. But anyway, what do you think? Do you think he's going to get his just reward? Is Rand Paul going to be able to follow through with this and get this done and get some penalties for him? I mean, not that you really don't want people to be, if he was truly uninformed and truly, going with information that he had at hand, then, I wouldn't blame him. But apparently it's very evident, and from what we know from the emails and things, he knew what was going on. He knew all the consequences. He knew what was actually happening, and he lied to the American public. And that is reason for him to be locked up. Speaking of lying to the American public, maybe we should talk about the president. All right. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. Talk to you later.